as a brand that ultimately grew up and grew mindshare through the Super Bowl, returning to the big game with a very different story of our evolved company has gotten a lot of attention in advance of the game, right? And that's media as well, right? So people talking about GoDaddy, people talking about Goggins, well in advance of the Super Bowl and post, that's all benefit that we get from being at the Super Bowl.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Marketing Vanguard podcast. I'm Jenny Rooney here at Adweek, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Fara Howard. She's the CMO of GoDaddy. Fara, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you again. It's always wonderful to talk to you. You've actually been on the show in the past, which I'm so excited about. So you're a returning guest, but actually you have some really fun new news to share. And I think you're going to be talking about all things Super Bowl today. So
I am.
let's get into it.
All right.
Let's start with, I would love for folks who are listening who don't know you, who I would find that very hard to believe, just bring us up to speed on who you are, a little bit about your career journey. As I said, you were on the show. It was in June 23. You and I have been fortunate enough to know each other for a few years now. But just bring us up to speed on you.
Absolutely. Well, like Jenny said, I've had the chance to be on the show before, which is awesome. As a lifelong marketer, getting to talk to the world about marketing feels a bit like a dream. I've been a marketer since post-grad school. And so I'll do the way back time machine real fast and then jump to GoDaddy. Like I said, started my career in marketing after grad school at some fantastic brands. Had the chance to work at Gatorade, Dell in my current hometown of Austin, Texas, Vans, Amazon, and then GoDaddy. And it's hard for me to believe I'm just about a month away from 6 years at GoDaddy. So it's been a really exciting journey watching the company transform and evolve before my eyes. And to your point, Jenny, we're now, just days away, it feels, from the actual Super Bowl, something we've been talking about at GoDaddy for months, years.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. GoDaddy is no stranger to the Super Bowl, correct?
We are not. This will be our 13th Super Bowl advertising moment for us, but it's been 8 years since we were on the Super Bowl. So we're a pretty different company now.
Yes, you are. And anybody who can remember, it was probably very different ads in the Super Bowl that GoDaddy.
I would say so. And those ads, those ads did a tremendous amount for our company. They
put you on the map, right?
They put us on the map for sure. And you ask anyone who knows, you say, hey, do you know GoDaddy? And you're going to get a nod. You're going to get the company that used to advertise in the Super Bowl, or maybe you'll get the domains company. And all of those are great answers. To have our brand on the map due to all of our prior Super Bowl advertising is one of the many reasons that we're returning this year. And another reason is we're much more than just a domains company. So we're excited to get that word out.
Well, so talk about that. How has the company transformed, and what is GoDaddy today in 25?
GoDaddy still is the leader in domains, to be really clear. And, the majority of small businesses, when they think about their branding, they think about their name, their domain, and so much more. They think about their logo, their website, their commerce needs, their digital presence. And GoDaddy can serve all those needs. And, many, many customers and future customers don't know us as a company that can do all of those jobs for them. So our evolution, truly in the 6 years that I've been here, and it started a bit before, we've been evolving to truly be a digital partner for small businesses for all of their needs. And we can do that even more so now with Airo, our AI-powered product and experience that really brings businesses to life. I know we were just talking about AI, so I would imagine we'll probably go there too.
Yeah, well, so let's talk about that. I mean, what trends are you seeing in the industry, both from we reference AI, frankly, I just got back from CES not long ago. Obviously that was the talk of the town and no surprise. And, I think we've gone from people being tired of talking about it and feeling it like it's a kind of, oh yes, it's a yawn, AI. CES felt like everybody was finally like, oh gosh, this is real. This is now, there's no turning back. So talk a little bit about the trends you're seeing, both from that standpoint, meaning what are the techs and what are sort of the investment areas that the company is focused on to grow its business, but also just trends, frankly, in the small business market and among the companies that, frankly, you're seeking to attract to use your service.
Right. Well, let's start there. Let's start with our customers. What we hear and what we've heard for years, eons, from small businesses is they need help saving time and getting customers and doing so in economical ways, right? We know they have to have their dollars stretch really far, and AI can help them with all of that. We launched GoDaddy Airo well over a year ago, and the premise behind GoDaddy Airo was if we could supercharge all of our products with AI to save customers time and help them get customers, wouldn't they be more prone to use GoDaddy and hire us ultimately for more of their jobs? And that supposition turned true. Nearly 3 million customers in the US alone have used GoDaddy Airo, and it truly has jump-started their business. And so those trends continue. But if we shift gears for just a moment on what's a small business mindset, I think it's easy to assume, and I'd say wrongly assume, that small businesses are reticent of using AI, right? Like, oh my gosh, AI is going to take my job. Or AI, I don't understand technology. I can't use AI. It's actually the opposite. AI is creating jobs because it's enabling small businesses to get online faster. And we've seen that through the data over the past several years as AI has been on the rise and Airo has been in the market. So for us, we're really invigorated with what we're seeing from customer results, not just from our products, but from AI in general. And so it's really been a huge priority for us to make certain that, the world knows that AI is here to help small business, and Airo is really the experience that can do that.
That's awesome. And then from your marketing organization standpoint, what are you paying attention to? What kind of integrations are you doing as a CMO there in terms of making sure that what you're doing on the inside reflects what you're trying to do on the outside for your customers?
Yeah, that's a whole other topic that is really top of mind for me. We often say within our company that, what's most important is that we actually are using AI tools and that we're becoming proficient so that we can guide our customers. So, we of course are using AI for a sizable amount of our problem solving, whether it's helping our documents be produced better, faster, more clearly, or even using AI to create our marketing materials. And whether that's, our search engine text or our copy that you see in our display ads or helping us storyboard content, AI is doing a tremendous amount for us. I'll give you one quick anecdote that's fascinating to me. As a marketer, and I know you'll appreciate this, really testing is critical to how we ensure that we have great results. And doing eye tracking studies, maybe this makes me seem like a dinosaur, but, I remember being in labs and, watching people with retinal studies. And now there are AI tools that can simulate what eye tracking does, which if anyone, on this podcast doesn't know what eye tracking means, it means you go into a lab and you watch what customers are looking at on screens. And now with AI, you can get that data in real time based on AI-based simulations. And that's making our advertising better because we're actually putting better, more relevant things in front of customers in the right places so that they see it.
Love that. So you mentioned a minute ago that you all are back in the Super Bowl for the first time in 8 years.
We are.
Which is just baffling to me. So really, you launched your first ads in what year that have been?
2003.
I was going to say 2003. I don't know why my mind went to that, which is crazy. But because I feel like I was covering it back then. And that was the rise of the .coms, right? That was the big era of pets.com and everybody else online and advertising in the Super Bowl. So you were there, the brand was there then, went through some various iterations, and then fast forward to 2025, you're coming back, you're back. So you're going to share with us now what we can expect to see.
Absolutely. I mean, no surprise based on what I said before that the star of our story is Airo, right? It's imperative to us on behalf of our customers that we get the word out, that we can make their jobs so much easier. So Airo is the center of the story, but we also know that at the Super Bowl, you know, the audience expects to be entertained, right? And so that story had best be told in a way that was incredibly engaging, either make you laugh till you fall out of your chair or make you cry. Let me be clear, we're not going to make you cry, right? We're going to make you laugh because we know that small businesses just have a ton on their back. Like I said, they need help saving time, saving money, getting customers. They don't need to be reminded that being a small business can be hard. They know that. They're doing it. And so our job is to bring levity to the equation. And Airo does that with the help of a celebrity who's going to, help us get the word out.
And that person is?
I'd say drum roll, please. But I know that many people who are listening to this podcast have already heard that Walton Goggins is the celebrity. He'd say he's a celebrity and Airo's the star. And we absolutely agree. He's been a phenomenal partner to us. And, I can talk to you about our journey of how we've worked together. But you're going to see a lot of Walton Goggins and GoDaddy, alliteration not intended, but appreciated in 2025.
Okay, we'll talk about it. How did you decide on that? What's the strategy behind the strategy?
Yeah, so Walton Goggins recently launched in November of this past year a business called Walton Goggins Goggle Glasses. And to be clear, they're not glasses, they're not goggles, they're goggle glasses. And if you're scratching your head saying, is this real? It's totally real. He's always been a big fan of sunglasses, as he says himself. He only owns 2 watches, but he owns countless pairs of sunglasses. And he's an athlete. He was like, maybe there's a place where my love of sports and accessory and me as a celebrity, I can bring this product into the world. And so he launched with Revo these amazing goggle glasses. In fact, I have several pairs myself. I should have a pair on my desk, so I should pop them on. And he needed a partner to launch that business with because, just like every small business owner, he didn't have the time, the technical experience. He may have had the resources, but not necessarily the tools. And so that's where GoDaddy Airo came in. So, we partnered with him. We launched his business and we stayed behind the scenes as he launched his business because we wanted to see what small businesses go through. So GoDaddy actually, we haven't been co-promoting his business with him. He's been doing that on his own. And it's been awesome to see the impact that Airo has had on his business and that his business has had on his fans and how more fans are coming in as a result. So it's been a fantastic opportunity to see in real time what Airo can do and what Walton Goggins can do. So I could go on forever, but he is the embodiment of our brand in terms of who he is and how he communicates. So we've been really thrilled with the partnership.
I love that. So, look, again, you're a company and a brand that's no strangers to the Super Bowl, but obviously right now, Super Bowl's on everybody's minds, especially in the marketer community. It's still the single biggest advertising stage in the world. I mean, there is no event with any greater reach still. And it's a convening moment where there are no real collective convening moments anymore, really, in media. I mean, there's so few and far between. And so you have to be really there's so much to bring together in a 30-second spot. We'll assume about 30 seconds. How do you think about, wedding the message that you have to get out in the world for GoDaddy, the message that he needs to get out in the world for his business, because obviously you want it. Part of this is helping him succeed, and also deliver on that entertainment value that you referenced before. Especially, people are in a loud, crowded room eating, chips and drinking beer and having a grand old time. You want to make sure that they see what you're doing. And obviously, of course, there's the run up. Are you going to pre-release? Or are you going to,
We are.
Okay. And then there's the after the game, right? And the continued, plays of the ads. Walk us through the process that you had to, as CMO, you had to make in order to land where you did.
Yeah, I love this question. Thank you. I'll give the world's shortest answer and then I'll unpack it. We are not thinking about this as a 30-second spot. we're thinking about this as an extended campaign and a story that's been unfolding, even though customers didn't know it was unfolding for several months already. And then we'll continue to unfold into 2025 with a full campaign. So really, Super Bowl is a critical and key moment in 2025. Maybe a crescendo, but one with a long tail that will continue. So, for us and for me as a marketer and partnering with my team that worked so hard on this and is doing so as we speak, working with Walton to get his business launched was an amazing experience because we all became far more fluent in the product and the customer experience, right? Which I think that empathy as a marketer is imperative. But your question is, how do we get the word out, right? So Walton's getting the word out on his business, and we are learning in real time the impact that he's having as he's getting news picked up. He's so fortunate as a celebrity. Not all small businesses, are on, The Strategist or, Hollywood Reporter or, Variety or other places. But that content really started, the ball rolling and is a real-time example of what Airo can do for small business, right? And this month, now as Walton Goggins and GoDaddy have come together, to tell the story more broadly, there's proof, right? There's proof like, hey, he did it and so can you. And hearing him tell that story is the most gratifying, far more so than me or someone else talking about GoDaddy. So to have such a fantastic advocate talking in real time about the impact that Airo's had on their small business and small business owners and aspiring entrepreneurs seeing that is so powerful, right? Then Super Bowl, right? Super Bowl kicks in with an incredibly, I'm thrilled with the ad. And to your point, it's out in the world right now. We did pre-release so that that those who are big, advertising fans can see the 30-second and the 60-second spot in advance of the Super Bowl and really, come to love the story the way that we do, right? And the story that we're telling is, actors are phenomenal at convincing you that they know how to do everything, even when they don't, right? And that's exactly what Airo can do for you, right? Airo can make you look like you know what you're doing as a small business owner, even if you don't. And that's where AI kicks in. And such an engaging way to tell a story. And if any of our listeners today don't know Walton Goggins, just as a quick refresher, because he's one of those faces that everyone knows and his name is becoming more and more well-known. He's in Fallout, he's in Righteous Gemstone, he's in the upcoming White Lotus. And in addition to just all the places and spaces you'll see him, he's just a fantastic human and a phenomenal actor. Like getting to watch him behind the scenes was like a masterclass in acting. We were like, and historically, we've always featured customers in our ads because, and he's a customer too, but a customer who's not a celebrity has been our historic during my tenure here. And that's because we want to tell stories that are real. Well, Walton's story is real.
It's real. And you get that extra equity, if you will, from his brand and his awareness and his celebrity.
Yeah. And his voice, Jenny, he is like, he can't not make me laugh. He'll say something serious and he kills me. And so that ability to bring humor to serious situations is exactly what small businesses need. So we couldn't be more thrilled with the collaboration and the continued story that he'll help us tell in 2025. So it's, like I said, in short, it's not a moment. It's really a full campaign and an opportunity for us to show what Airo can do to the world.
Well, and it's on brand with the GoDaddy ethos and personality, right? I mean, it's just like, it's serious business, but you've always had, even as it's sort of like evolved through the years, it's got a personality, it's got an edge, it's got a there's an air to it all of its own as a brand, and so bringing that in through him also it seems like it's a great alignment all the way around. The only thing I'll say is it's super expensive. You have so many opportunities to spend money in 2025. You have a set budget. Not every marketer chooses to spend that much money, I don't even know what's the going rate. I should know, but what's 30 seconds is.
Yeah, Fox would tell you that it's $7 million for a 30-second. That's it. That's the word on the street.
That's the word on the street, and that's in the headlines. So, and every year it feels like it jumps, a couple million. So, how do you make that call? That's a big call. How do you sell it to your CEO? How do you sell it to your board? How do you sell it to your other stakeholders in the C-suite? Like it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think it also goes back to what I said. It's not just that moment, right? As a brand that, ultimately grew up and grew mind share through the Super Bowl, returning to the big game with a very different story of our evolved company, has gotten a lot of attention in advance of the game, right? And that's media as well, right? So people talking about GoDaddy, people talking about Goggins, well in advance of the Super Bowl and post, that's all benefit that we get from being at the Super Bowl. And so I think it's important, as a marketer and for fellow marketers to not just think of it as a moment, because if you work to understand the ROI just for that 30 seconds, it's really hard to pencil. If you think about it as part of a broader story, then it makes more sense. And one of the things that I've always been confused by and have said out loud, that brands who show up at the Super Bowl loud and proud and then don't continue the story post, either they switch to a new campaign or they've used all their money for that moment and can't continue to tell the story, that doesn't land for me. And so the other factor that we had to plan for is, can we do the Super Bowl and continue to do everything else that we've done so well from a marketing, communication, and efficiency standpoint? And the answer is yes. And so once we knew that we could tell the story broadly for a longer period of time, get all the earned benefit and the storytelling in and around the Super Bowl, and add it into, the way that we've historically talked to our customers, so that it's not I talked to you at the Super Bowl and then I went away for a quarter or two. That gave us all confidence, both our CFO, our CEO, myself, and the team that worked on this, that this was the right thing to do.
2 questions. One, what agencies do you work with? Agencies, or was this all in-house?
Love the question. Our in-house team, we have an in-house team, and they did a sizable portion of work on this Super Bowl campaign. We did engage external agencies, as we often do on big projects, to help us. Quality Meats partnered with us. You know them well. At Ad Age, they were small agency of the year. And then we worked with...
We had them on our cover, Adweek did, just recently.
Yes, you did. And they designed that cover well. And then we worked with the Pons Jewel for production. But our in-house team, and when I say our in-house team, our in-house creative team, our in-house media team, our in-house strategy team, our .com team, our UX team, like the list goes on and on, carried a sizable amount of the work and are as we speak. So I am thrilled with the work that our team and our partners have done to get us here.
That's awesome. What will success look like for you? And what's going to happen, the night of the Super Bowl? Where are you going to be? Where are you going to be watching the game? And what metrics, what data are you going to, what social media platforms, what are you going to be paying particular close attention to? And will you sleep that night?
Let me start the questions from the bottom up. I will not sleep that night. We are going to be measuring, we are a highly analytical company, as we've talked about in the past. So we'll be measuring everything that you would expect, right? We'll be looking at traffic and conversion. We'll be looking at mentions and sentiment, and the list goes on and on. We've got hourly, daily, weekly tracking. And I think it's important to note weekly tracking, right? Because everything for the Super Bowl doesn't happen that day. And that's important for us to remember too, particularly because it's a story that we'll keep telling. But that day is super important. So I will not be at the Super Bowl. I will not be having beer and chips. I'll be in our Kirkland, Washington office with the team of folks, making sure that GoDaddy.com is ready for all the new and returning customers that are going to come check us out. And I'll be there for a few days post for sure, because the work continues after the Super Bowl.
That's so great. So it'll be all hands on deck, and you'll be there, and in real time, you all will be handling the influx that comes on that night. Because to your point, yes, it's the lead up to the game, but I do think that the game itself remains a major inflection point in all those metrics as well. So, well, listen, this is so fascinating, Farah. Anything else that you want to talk about? Obviously it's you have to sort of take a deep breath, and this is a big moment. And you said there's been so much work that's been happening leading up to this moment, but then there's a whole rest of the year ahead. And to your point, it's do you see this as midstream? Do you see this as the kickoff, pun intended? Because it's certainly not the end game. I mean, this is either the start or midstream for you in this sort of cycle, if you will, for your creative advertising and this campaign. Where else will we see you do big swings in 25, or will it be a steady drumbeat? What can we expect to see, and where are you going to be spending your time?
The Super Bowl is not the kickoff. I would say the kickoff happened in November when Walton Goggins launched his business in partnership with us and Airo. This is going to be a crescendo point in the campaign that will continue. And so we're ready for 25. You'll see Walton Goggins in a lot of places, not just White Lotus, but with GoDaddy, continuing to tell the story of how Airo, grew and is growing his business. And so it'll be a steady drumbeat. I think that's really important for customers to, get exposed to brands. But I expect a few more peaks after the Super Bowl, considering what we're bringing to market with Airo, who we're bringing it to market with Walton Goggins, helping us as our celebrity and megaphone, and with the success we've had with customers. So,
any teases? Can you tease any of those peaks?
I can't tease the peaks, but I can say that we've captured content to tell a story that continues to unfold. So the peak isn't me running that same 30-second spot with just more money behind it ongoing. I think that I think that our audience and entrepreneurs deserve ongoing entertainment and education. And so you can expect more creative hits to keep coming.
Love it. Well, Farah, thank you. Anything else you want to add before we wrap?
I appreciate the opportunity to get to talk to you so close to the Super Bowl. So I think the only other thing I'd say is, if you haven't seen our ad yet, go search for GoDaddy Super Bowl ad, find it. Rate us on Ad Meter. We would love to hear your feedback. We're most excited about getting the word out, but I'm biased. I've been deep in the work, and I think that we've made world-class work, and I'm really excited to hear, how people are responding to the way we're talking about Airo, and I couldn't be more excited about the week and weeks ahead.
Exciting. Thank you. I can't wait to see all of the above. Let's continue the conversation. We'd love to meet up with you on the other side of the Super Bowl, and we'll try to find a way to continue the conversation and see how things went on the big night, and obviously in the run up. And we'll stay tuned for more from you as we go into this year. So thanks, Farah, as always.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for listening to Marketing Vanguard, part of the Adweek Podcast Network and Acast Creator Network. This podcast was produced by Jordan Pretano, executive produced by Al Manarino and John Heil, and edited by Lane McGibney at Boutwell Studios. You can listen and subscribe to all of Adweek's podcasts by visiting adweek.com/podcasts. Stay updated on all things Adweek Podcast Network by following us on Twitter at Adweek Podcasts. And if you have a question or suggestion for the show, send us an email at podcast@adweek.com. Thanks for listening.